where a young girl named Jennifer lives with a skewed face and an abominable hump in the spouses of a cattleman. Because of her unappealing appearance, the girl is frequently mocked by the inhabitants, and one day when Jennifer is once further mocked by a couple of the neighborhood young men, the girl mistakenly opens a portal to the amazing tour Lara in Aretusa, where she's met by the youthful wizard Istrid. The guy is associated all magic leaves traces which magicians can use to find someone who has even an ounce of the supernatural in them. He determines to save the sprouting sorceress and opens a safe entrance that brings the end of her home time later. A stunning and wealthy lady appears at the farm of the girl's father to buy a pork. But upon seeing the girl, she symbolizes a desire to buy her too, and the father, who does not conceal his disgust for his niece, sells her for half the price of the animal in spite of the pleas of her mother, who comprehends the lady as a witch. So Jennifer finds herself in the mystical school of the Enchantress, decided freeze where multiple girls are already investigating. At first, Jennifer takes the separating substances from Homeheart and how low her father judged her. She even tried to conduct suicide, but when classes begin, she observes that the young wizard was right. It was her unintentionally wizardry that caused the wave and got the particular attention of the school's rector. The wizard is Desire. The girls who study at the school have also differentiate themselves with the same unique skills. Soon Desire holds the first test. The girls must lift the stone and a blossom without heartbreaking them and using a spell. Everyone more or less supervises to cope with the task. But Jennifer fails. The girl obstinately tries again and again until Desire stops her. Dissatisfied, Jennifer later ran away. She finds Istrid in the cave and introduces herself. Later on, Desire helps her female students recognize the anxiety that confronts men the most. When the females see each other in pairs, she tells them to look into each other's eyes until they can figure out what their opposing plans are. Jennifer makes another unsuccessful attempt to lift the girl's spirits with a companion. Desire is raging. Jennifer is deluding herself, which makes her worthless. She is not alone in her problems, but nobody would love her even if she were attractive. Jennifer confides in Istrid, her lone buddy, about his academic difficulties. The girl is successful in reading the boy's mind when he offers to. In the midst of a storm one night, Desire awakens the girls and takes them to the Torlara, the strongest magical location on the continent. The females don't think they can manage the turmoil, and some of them even get powerful shocks from lightning strikes. Jennifer strikes out at her more fortunate opponent, Desire, when it's her turn, deflecting her mental assault. As an example of how her emotions can destroy her own Tisaya, she later chastises her trainee, whom she almost murdered today. I cannot promise that Jennifer won't succumb to your feelings and lose his calm, as she was formerly a court sorceress, and the weak should never be near a ruler. She was already questioned if she possessed any traits that the wizarding chapter might find annoying by the Enchantress. The most important thing Jennifer tells Istrid is that they will never be able to see each other again, and that the Enchantress knows everything about them. The person is eager to show her some more powerful, ancient magic, but it comes with a great deal of risk. He holds up the heads of the elves who have passed on and built Aretusa. They were the first magicians on the continent and the ones who built all the magical places, but the humans killed them. She receives a flower from Eastwood that can only open with the elder blood rests, along with a sonnet from him, a magic that, when repeated, allows the girl to open doors. Jennifer discloses that her unattractive appearance was caused by her blood. Her father was a half-elf who died in the purge. The wizard is shocked and baffled as to how she managed to pull it off the first time. The boy tells Jennifer he loves her with a kiss. Later, she shows Desai the blossom. As it happens, she was assigned the mission of obtaining the plant by pretending to have emotional abilities. Jennifer desires to go forward. The witch promises that she will hear, knock, and sense the right time shortly. Istrid is also in the middle of telling Strega Bar, his mentor, what he has learned about the girl. One evening, Jennifer hears a knock at her neighbor's door. She takes the flower and goes with it. She peeks out as Desire turns the four of them into eels. Knowing that the girl is present, The enchantress gives Orissa the order to come out and cast a former classmate into the water. They are now the magical messengers of Aretusa. Yennefer does this and then sees the silhouettes of many of her old classmates in the water. Time passes. Yennefer indulges in a love affair with Istrid, leveraging her newfound understanding to heighten the impact of intimacy. She therefore gathered a sizable crowd one day to observe their intimacy and lavished the couple with admiration. Her creativity astounds the guy. What will she come up with next time? The day of the ultimate rite is almost here, and it is time for people to take control of their own fate. After graduating from Aretusa and returning to her hometown of Aden, Yennefer hopes to become a great sorceress in order to prove her abilities to her father and long-standing abusers. Every graduate of the Aretusa is also honed before to being sent off to their respective kingdoms. There are no more physical defects. Yennefer will also feel this. The head wizard assures her that the results will be equally amazing as he displays his creations to her and highlights the graduate's flawless beauty. He suggests letting out a magnificent yet commanding gray sigh. But he does teach her to examine herself in the mirror and find out what Yennefer really wants. She instructs the girl to close her eyes and picture the strongest woman living. Yennefer does what she is told, but she still hasn't noticed the promised beauty. The Wizards chapter convenes in Aretusa during this time to decide whether or not the graduates should submit an application to become all kings need court wizards. Then it is revealed that the wizard Stregobor, one of the council's leaders, is aware that Yennefer is a quarter elf, which means that due to the anti-elf sentiment in Arethusa, she will not be permitted to attend. The chapter's choice to send Yennefer to Nilfgaard has not pleased the ambitious enchanter. Although Desire claims to be in charge of distribution, she insists on having the chapter read aloud. Yennefer is overjoyed that she won't have to squander her life serving a womanizer of a tiny southern kingdom monarch. When the tutor tells the girl about the elven blood, she understands how Stregobor knew about it. When the initiation ceremony begins, Yennefer is not present. In the letter she addressed to her father to ask for proof that she is, in fact, his daughter, a worried Istrid finds you. The girl doesn't know what to do because nobody will believe the lad even if Easter denies his claims about your origins. The boy doesn't think the chapter will be convinced by this letter. The engender is upset since he didn't know why Stregobor required this information, and she has already missed all of the initiation spells. Eastridge adds that since he's been granted the chance to become an explorer, she should go with him. They can travel the continent and discover new things, but suddenly the girl mocks his plan with bitterness, telling him she won't even bother to dust off the Aegis. He doesn't even ask her opinion. These are his dreams and aims. Istrid is surprised. According to him, Yennefer is disappointed that she was unable to discover beauty, but a woman requires strength, and the time and effort she invested in attending the magic school weren't in vain. He was completely mistaken about Yennefer. Yennefer goes to the enchanter, the person in charge of perfection, begging to show off her artwork. Not even the lack of a medication to ease the unbearable pain associated with the shift the magician begins, stopping her in her tracks. When Yennefer asks to see her eyes, the wizard informs her that all spells have an expense and that the cuts on her hand are a reminder of her previous vulnerability. Despite the fact that she will not be able to walk after being reborn, the girl agrees to everything, including having her womb removed in order to go through a complete change. While the magician reads spells, the girl cries in agonizing pain and breaks the shackles that bind her to the table. In the end, she writhes in agony, her entire body seeming to melt and transform as her spine straightens. Yennefer faints. In the meantime, Aretusa's main hall continues to host the initiation ball. Desire hears a door open suddenly and sees a girl standing there with the most beautiful violet eyes. When she finds out that Yennefer has disobeyed her commands, it is too late to get Yennefer back. Its beauty has already been seen by Adorn's ruler. He invites you to a dance and tells you that he hopes to see her as a court magician in his realm. Desire is forced to watch the enchantress and monarch's far-off dance, which is inspired by several Sapkowski books. The Witcher is a vibrant, fascinating, and naturally curious person.